Sorin Ripper, folks. I have broken the Pioneer format. I have taken the Sorin Ripper shell and I've added another color to it. But yeah, the idea of this deck is just like you have the Vampires package, right, which is Sorin, Vein Ripper. Satoru is kind of your backup plan. We're not playing any copies of Dust Legion Zealot. We do have Preacher of the Schism and then Silversmote Ghoul as an additional vampire, which is pretty good because Oven, sacrificing Ghoul, creates a food which you can sack for 3 life to get the ghoul back. So that triggers Satoru. You have Cat Oven that triggers Satoru, and then also Sorin putting a vampire into play triggers this as well. They have main deck blot out. What? Okay, they're extremely dead. How many triggers? That's a lot. All right. Something tells me that's enough. All right, look, don't get mad at me for putting Sorin into another deck list, but I have an absolute banger for you here today. And this is Satoru the Infiltrator, which is a card that has seen quite a bit of success and a lot of hype over, older Eternal formats like Modern, Legacy, but we're going to try it in Pioneer today. And it turns out that Satoru triggers off of non-token creatures entering the battlefield if mana was not spent to cast them. Well, I have a pretty good way of doing that. So the idea behind this deck is relatively straightforward. You have the Vampire package that everyone is familiar with at this point, 4 copies of Sorin and 4 copies of Vein Ripper. That's what you're trying to do. You're ostensibly, that is the main goal of this deck. And then you have kind of the other vampires that help you do that. So Preacher of the Schism, just a relatively strong card, just, a threat in and of itself. Good if you start putting counters on it. But the other aspect of this deck is, again, Satoru works well with Sorin Ripper. Now, I'm not trying to tell you that you need something else to make your Sorin Ripper good, but the other engines in this deck also take advantage of Satoru, namely Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Oven. So if you go Witch's Oven and Cauldron Familiar, you sacrifice the Familiar to the Oven, sacrifice the food to bring back the Familiar. That is a creature entering the battlefield with mana not spent to cast it. The other really cool interaction that this deck has is Silversmote Ghoul, which happens to be a vampire, so you can, get a little bit of value with Sorin, because ideally what happens is if you have a Silversmote Ghoul in play and a Sorin in play, Sorin has an ability that you can sacrifice a vampire to deal 3 to any target and you gain 3 life. Silversmote Ghoul says at the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, return it to the battlefield. So a couple of things. Sorin gives you the life for Silversmote Ghoul, and Silversmote Ghoul returning from the graveyard to the battlefield also triggers Satoru. So you kind of see this little, supplementary engine that we have going on here. Past that, it's just a lot of interaction. 4 copies of Thoughtseize, 4 copies of Fatal Push, 2 Bitter Triumph, and 1 Sheoldred's Edict. Now, I will say, this is probably not the way that you should be building vampires, so take this with a grain of salt. But again, we got to try out new stuff. I had to, I saw this deck list and on one of the Magic Online leagues or challenges, and it looked interesting, so I wanted to give it a shot, see how Satoru played out. I have some other ideas for Satoru, but those might need a little bit more work. Mana base pretty straightforward. Bunch of blue-black dual lands, Mutavaults, because you are playing Sorin, you want to have some additional ways to get vampires that aren't necessarily just casting creatures, because the vampire count is a little low for this deck, given that Satoru and Familiar, neither of those are vampires, so it gets a little dicey there. As far as the sideboard is concerned, blue does give you access to some counter spells too, so Spell Pierce, Disdainful Stroke, Leyline of the Voids for Phoenix, Path of Peril for the small creature decks, Blot Out for vampires, and Duress for control, so sideboard is relatively straightforward. I don't know how this is going to go. Maybe it's going to fall flat. Maybe it'll be great. There's only one way to find out, though, so I will see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. Yeah, I mean, Ripper targets, but if you have Ripper in play, you should be winning anyways. Most of the time. How do you sack Cat? Oven. I mean, I guess you could play Forsaken Miner with Oven, but like, what's the point of that? If you're choosing to play Oven, you might as well just play Cat instead of Miner, I think. My thoughts have been seized. Yeah, I didn't explain it a ton in the intro, but kind of the idea is you're utilizing the Sorin package. You have the powerful Sorin Ripper combo, But the idea is Satoru is kind of your backup plan, which works with Cat Oven. Again, Silversmote Ghoul is maybe the weak link here, but what's nice about it is a vampire that can come back from the graveyard to trigger Satoru, so it has some applications. But that's kind of the idea we're going for, is just like vampires with this as like our plan B. Yeah, Priest is kind of cool. But the problem with Priest is you kind of need to build around it. You don't want your only cheap creature to be for Forsaken Miner. I guess you could play Forsaken Miner and Cauldron Familiar. But that kind of seems like a deck that is more built around Satoru than Sorin. And like maybe at that point you slim on interaction, you slim on the Sorin package, and you just build your deck more around Satoru. Which is like not unreasonable, you know? That could be a way to build the deck as well. I feel like I kind of have to Thoughtseize them, even though I want to play Ghoul to be mana efficient. We got to do a check for Sorin Ripper. It's a lot of removal, huh? Alright, we'll take Harvester. Take Harvester so they actually have to use a removal spell on the Satoru, instead of them just being able to go play Harvester, sack this. Called the Death Dweller. Death Dweller could also get back Satoru, which is kind of cool. You can get back like Satoru and Cat. Funny enough, what I thought about in this deck was I actually thought about playing Not Dead After All. So it sounds weird because you don't have like the scam stuff that you do in Modern, but the idea behind it would be it's a card that triggers Satoru, and if you don't know, Satoru actually triggers off of itself. So if they go to push your Satoru and you Not Dead it, it does trigger. So I thought about that. And if they go to kill your Vein Ripper, you can also just, Not Dead After All the Vein Ripper, and they just die on the spot if that's the case. So, and you also have Witch's Oven, so you can line it up where you go, have Satoru in play, Not Dead, sack my Satoru, and stuff like that. So even though we don't have Grief, there is still like a reasonable number of things that it does. Yeah, that's the idea, Starburst, right? It's like you go Sorin, sack Ghoul, gain 3 life, and then the 3 life that you gain from the Sorin gets the Ghoul back, which triggers Satoru, and you kind of just go from there. Can we beat the Archfiend we left them with? We can draw a removal spell. I mean, I'm just not going to take Archfiend when they have 2 lands. They didn't have a land at the time. Sure, they drew back-to-back lands, but like, I wasn't going to take the Archfiend when they're stuck on mana. Well, I should have traded, I guess. Turns out I should have traded. I'm not quite sure why I didn't trade. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't trade last turn. That was dumb. Because then we could have edicted this. Kind of awkward. I can't sack it. Because if I sack it, then I can't inhibit Mutavault trade and play the Edict. They may just have push anyways. Mutavault. So we're going to end up at 1. Yeah, we're just been at 1 before. I'm going to do this now. So they can't play Mutavault. That is good draw step. Go to 6. Winning this game would be insane. I'll attack. I will attack, as a matter of fact. You decided to play the deck I shared with you? Oh, no, I don't remember saying I would never play it. Pretty sure I said I was going to try it at some point. When 100% of Pioneer is on Arena, do you think you'll play more Arena or MTGO? Well, I mean, if we ever actually get 100%, I mean, who the hell knows when that's going to happen, I feel like they keep telling us a different thing. So who actually knows when we're going to get it on Arena? I would hope that it's soon, but honestly, I have no clue. I'm going to do something like this. Yeah, we'll do that. This is the first round of it, yes. Do they have an ETA? I thought they said Q4 of this year at some point. But again, it's like, I feel like they've been telling us a lot. I feel like they've been telling us that a lot, but I don't think that they actually know what the desired ETA is. I thought it was somewhat recent when they said that. That's my reasoning for Huntsman's Redemption in Black-Green. It's just a good card. It's just a really good card. Just like play some games with it. It's just extremely good. Alright, we'll go here. Wait, no. Oh. I played this last turn. I thought I had this in my hand to play. Whatever, it's fine. It's good if you can tutor with it. Yeah, you just go turn 1 elf, turn 2 huntsmans, turn 3, float mana, sack the elf. Like, that's why it's good, you know? Alright, let's see if we both have Vein Ripper. Thankfully, I have the out. You know what's funny? If they have Blot Out, we can sack our Vein Ripper. Not that I want to, but we can if they have Blot Out. They normally kill the elf? Yeah, but like, what happens if they don't kill the elf? And even if they do, you just go turn 2 Zealot, turn 3 Huntsman, sack the Zealot. You don't care about the Zealot. Like, it's really good with Zealot. Okay, they have Sorin. It's not Blot Out. Do we have a stare versus stare situation? Well, fortunately for us, we have the Blot Out. All right, I would like you to exile your Vein Ripper, please. Do I kill their Sorin? Yeah, I think I do kill their Sorin, because if I don't, they can... Oh, I can push the Zealot. I should just kill the Sorin, I think. I was thinking that if they plus, I can just push this, but then they animate Mutavault. And then their Mutavault can sack to kill my Sorin. Maybe that's fine, though. I don't know. Does it matter? Maybe it doesn't matter. Just so far ahead. Push land kill Sorin. I guess I'll make them sack their Mutavault, right? Might as well. I'm just trading this for a Mutavault, which is good. Okay, or they'd rather concede. I mean, that also works. We are in fact trying to find out if Satoru is Copium. Undecided right now. It feels, I mean, the shell is cool, right? Like, you're doing, what's nice about this is you're doing something extremely powerful, even when you don't have Satoru. You know, you're just like a very cohesive deck with you know, you just have Splinter Twin. So the theory is that you, as long as you're doing something powerful, you're like, the supplementary engine, I'm not going to say doesn't matter as much, but like, you can kind of mess around with the plan B if your plan A is as good as Sorin Ripper. What you got over there, Pardo?
Bruh.
What? What? You want to run that by me again? I guess they did have Sorin Ripper. Would you keep that hand? I mean, I probably wouldn't, but they're a Chad, so. Beatdowns. Beatdown plan engaged. I guess I should have taken the Ripper with the Thoughtseize, and then I could have taken the Storm with the Duress. Probably would have been a little bit better, yeah. I'm gonna hold up push. What if they just never draw a Black Source? Okay, your turn. Your turn. Come on, attack me with Mutavault. I have nothing. Okay, still no Black Source. Okay, okay, hold, 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 hold. Now we need them to dodge again. No Black Source, please. All right, give me a land. Give me a land. Easy. Easy. I'll minus. I will, in fact, minus. No attacks. I guess I could have attacked first. Oh, no. They found it. Not like this. I like how play Blood Crypt concede. That is the appropriate response. I play Blood Crypt. In response to shocking, I concede the game. I mean, what color haven't we tried Sorin Ripper in, right? We've tried it in... We tried black-white with Cage, and we tried black-green with Elves, and now we're trying black-blue with Satoru. Like, this is really the last... This is the last bastion, you know? We've tried every Sorin color now. We've tried it all. Can we start doing 3 colors yet? Have you played mono black? We've tried mono black decks, but not mono black vampires. Eldrazi vampires?
Bruh.
I'm in. I mean, you already want to play Mutavault in your Sorin deck anyways, so you just get to play a free colorless land, right? Think about it. Reality Smasher Sorin. Give my Reality Smasher Death Touch. Let's go. All right, I'll take another Sorin off the top, please. I would also accept a Witch's Oven. Felt like Esper vampires. Oh, give me a Sorin, please. Sorin me. Fuck. It's not even close. I feel like I remember seeing a version of Jund not too long ago. It was like elves and whatnot. I really want to fatal push this, but I'm not going to do that. It is kind of nice that Witch's Oven helps turn on fatal push. That is kind of cool. I mean, they're already down to 8. Sorin Twin is the Pioneer version of Leyline Scion. Change my mind. I mean, you're not wrong. It really is. Yeah, opponent has played a 2/4 creature with their Reckoner Bankbuster strategy. Okay, Edict is not bad. Edict gives me some Shelly coverage, which I like. No point in attacking Mutavault because they have fields. Yeah, they're going to field anyways. Boop. I'll take a swamp, please. Are they drawing or are they pushing? They are pushing. Okay. Would still really like to find an oven. Like, if they can't kill me fast enough, Oven could just solo them. Sorin also a good draw step, obviously. This is the trophy leader, right? They got 9 trophies. Dude, I am slacking. Look at this. I am slacking. I also did take 2 days off of playing Pioneer, to be fair, so, you know. I'll attack with the cat. All right, you're at 6. Tick-tock. 6 more turns, John Rapp. You better watch out. This cat is coming for you. Also, 1 more land and we're chilling. All right, never mind. They did not select my Vein Ripper. Okay. I accept. So they're just going to let me rip them if I draw land? Honestly, not the worst. Question is, do we kill the Trespasser? I would have to discard my Fatal Push to do so. Or discard my Vein Ripper to do so, rather. How loud was that notification, by the way? I feel it's loud on my side. I could turn it down a little bit. I think I'm not going to kill it. Sorin Ripper, folks. Sorin Ripper, folks. I have broken the Pioneer format. I have taken the Sorin Ripper shell and I've added another color to it. Drawing a card. Turnpike Bear with a deck. Drop a link in the chat and I will do my best. Oh, I'm blocking. Oh, I'm blocking. It's going to be a block from me, dog. Broke the format by taking the best card out of the deck. Yeah, but I replaced it with 2 mana 2/3. I mean, it's just apples to oranges, right? You know what is kind of nice? Cat Oven with Vein Ripper. That goes kind of hard, right? Well, presuming you can, actually cast the Vein Rippers. Kind of don't want this thing to flip. So I think I'm just going to push the bones. I just don't care about the Trespasser. We can blank it forever. Okay. It's their 3rd field? No, 2nd field. All right, Turnpike Bear. Had to get the 4 of mana base. Recurring Bankbuster. Trying to think if there's anything you're missing. I can't really think of anything that you're, anything that you're just straight up missing. Champion, Haunted Dead, Narcomoeba, Amalgam, Satoru. I guess, Driven to Despair, maybe? Yeah, a basic for field wouldn't help. Nah, Chill doesn't work. I mean, Chill works if you want to play Silversmote Ghoul, I guess. But you'd have to play both Silversmote and Chill. So, I don't know if you have room to play both of those. Right? Yeah, we can't add a basic to our 4-ups deck. This is very true. When you put it like that, yeah. Okay, so they go to 6. I block Bankbuster. I take 6. They're just dead to a land, right? I guess not. They're not quite dead to a land. They're very close to dead to a land. Roots does make mana, yeah. Alright, well, I was Really hoping they weren't going to field me. Because I only have 3 basics. If they fielded me, I just would not have been able to cast Ripper. But thankfully that did not happen, so we're safe. We're safe. They have main deck blot out. What? This is bullshit. So is it better? It's just better to sack the Ripper, right? The cat now. There's no difference, right? Because my options are get back cat, sack cat, put cat in graveyard, or just sack the Ripper. It's just better to sack the Ripper, right? Bro, main deck blot out is wild. The deck has been gassed but can't be waste not. Yeah, that matchup does seem a little suspicious. Cat's a gain 3. Cat is a gain 3. Well, I think I'd rather have the extra food to rebuy cat multiple times, right? You get another Ripper trigger. How do I get another Ripper trigger? The cat enters the battlefield, drains them for 1. I sack the cat, get 1 Ripper trigger, and then the Ripper gets exiled, which is still 1 Ripper trigger. It's 1 no matter what. Yes, Nick. I don't know what I'm missing. If you cut Bloodsoak Champion Roots, I guess you could play... Oh, shit, we're just dead, right? Huh. Yeah, we are just dead, aren't we? Would I have survived if I did it the other way? So if I did it the other way, cat ETB go to 9, sack cat go to 11. I'm at 11, Ripper dies. Then I go sack food, bring back cat 12. Yeah, I guess I would have survived, wouldn't I? If I did it the other way. I think. Yeah, I'm exactly dead. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I think if I had 1 more life, I could have won that game. That could certainly be something you want to do as well. Like I don't hate the idea of that. That card goes well with Roots, but we're not playing that card. Whale of the Forgotten. So Whale is what? 2 mana, mill 3, or 2 mana impulse, put the rest in the graveyard. And then unsummon, or what's the third mode on Whale? It's unsummon, impulse, or something else. I forget the last mode. Is it they choose and discard, or is it Thoughtseize? It's really nice that I have 2 Satorus, because they just take this, right? Yeah, or they have push. I'm gonna hold the Satoru, because I'm like 100% convinced they have push, and I want to get a card out of it. This is worse if they have second discard spell, but they have more removal than discard spells. Wait, no, undo. I meant to sack. Whoops. -1 damage. -1 damage, by the way. I'm actually going to sack the cat before playing Satoru. Am I just playing Breacher this turn, actually? You know what? If they have Fatal Push, why don't I just blank their mana? It's probably better anyways. You want Bloodghast and Vengevine and Pioneer? But those would be my 2 suggestions there. Bitter Triumph. So we get to draw 2 cards out of this. That's nice. All right, I would like to draw a card. Damn, Satoru kind of goes hard, huh? I would like to draw 1 more card, please. Actually, I should probably not draw main phase in case they have some kind of exile. I don't know, like exile all my creatures. I did draw another cat, though. I want to draw a card now. I'm gonna hold the other cat though, in case they have like extinction event on cats, because they might event odd if they don't know I have another cat. Rude. Also kind of rude. Well, joke's on you. As a matter of fact, we had that covered the whole time. The cats are no longer extinct. Where are you? I think it's better to get the damage in. Like, I could chump attack or chump block. I think chump attack is weirdly better, because I want to main phase the cat anyways. Does that make sense? Because I just want to draw a card main phase. Try and find something. Well, that is something, technically. So now they can't really event odd, because they have a Breacher. Oh god, do they have Kalitas? Oh, that would be so bad for me if they have Kalitas. That is true. Chump attack does have some F6 equity, which is honestly probably the most important part. All right, they have a 2-4. I have a 2-3. I should block, right? That's how the math works. What? So many bad gods. Well, was not prepared for this. All right, give me an untapped land, please. What? I guess it was better to discard this to the Ecclesats. It's kind of like an untapped land. If you squint hard enough, it is.
Bruh.
Yeah, this is a good use up. It's a pretty good use up. You're bringing my chalk outline list? Let's go. Can we get some claps in the chat for MK the DK? Dude, that deck is so based. I haven't played it in a long time, though. Probably should have chump block with a cat. That deck is sick. It's like chalk outline, Lotleth Troll, Daredevil. That deck is mega ultra super based. Okay. Well, we found the land. Is it good enough? We're gonna find out. I think the answer is probably no, but I guess we just pass. I think we pass. If I attack them with everything, they just double block Satoru, take 3, go to 5, 3. Actually, did I have lethal? Am I stupid? No, because they gain a life off this. They end up at 1. I was 1 point short. I had Xaxes if they didn't gain a life. Pretty sure you want Satoru to die. I mean, I'm breaking even on the exchange, right? Every loop that I go through, I'm gaining 2 and losing 2. So, I'm still breaking even. Do I think Waste not as well positioned? Probably, yeah. It's a good deck. No attacks. Okay. Sacrifice cat. Do I bring cat back yet or no? I think I wait. Yeah, I think we wait on bringing cat back. I'm not sure it matters that much. I think this is just lethal anyways. Okay, what happens if I attack with everything? I don't want to do math, man. What if I just didn't do math and just attacked? No, waste not. Surely this is lethal, right? Like, this has to be lethal. There's no way. This has to be lethal. I don't know. You figure it out. You figure it out. Attack with Ripper. Why don't I just attack with everything? Reanimate the cat. I could just wait on reanimating, right? There's no reason to reanimate now. Oh, you just wanted to do a check to see if they had anything? Because of lifelink? Okay, so trade, dead, chump. Oh, pass priority. Okay, they're extremely dead. How many triggers? That's a lot. All right. Something tells me that's enough. I think that might be enough. We had 5 to spare. I could have killed them in the next game as well. The previous turn was lethal too, because blocking with the 1/1 meant drain too. I thought I did the math, and I was 1 short the turn before with the life gain, but maybe I did the math wrong. The content has now officially been created. That's a lot of triggers. I keep. I don't think I want stroke against them. It's like only good against specifically Ecclesats, maybe Sheoldred too. Might not be the worst, but they're not vampires, so I don't think I want Blot Out. I guess Blot Out is good against Ecclesats. It's reasonable. I could buy that. I kind of hadn't thought about Ecclesats. I was like, I didn't bring in Blot Out initially because they weren't vampires, but now that they've shown us that they have Ecclesats, maybe it's worth it. How did I do in the RCQ last weekend? 1, 2, drop. I now have a decision to make. I could play another aggressive red deck, or hear me out. I have now also acquired the cards to play Phoenix. Now, I don't know if I should because I have no reps with Phoenix, but I could if I wanted to. Bitter Triumph, Fatal Push, Sheoldred, Keck, bye. Chat, what should I play? Wizards or Phoenix? You weren't supposed to drop that Thoughtseize poll. No, because people are going to tell me to play Phoenix. I know what chat wants. I'm asking knowing that I already know what you're going to say. So I guess I don't know why I'm asking. If you play Phoenix, you have to dress like a bird at the RCQ. Unfortunately, I don't. My big bird costume has not come in the mail yet, so that's gonna have to wait a little bit. Bypass both play Niv. I don't have Niv cards. Do I care about them resolving next turn? Not a lot. I can't spell Pierce Sheoldred. I could try. I know. I'm not like I'm not trying to tell you that Phoenix is the hardest deck in the format to play, but it is one that, rewards a lot of reps, which I don't have. But it's still probably not that difficult, if we're being honest. Right, I'm going to need you to not draw Bat God, please. Second hardest deck in the format to play. Behind Spirits. Oh, behind Lotus. Okay. Is Lotus really that hard? I don't know. I feel like you just count some numbers and then you figure it out from there. All right. They're trading a land for my 3/1. Oh, weird game. I think I'm going to lose because they have Castle and Hive. So we have to, find a Sorin before they find a relevant card. And they have a lot more stuff to do with their mana. In my opinion, if you are good at 4th grade math, you can probably play Lotus Field. That's the way that I look at it. All right, the 3rd Silversmote. Surely this one's not going to die. I'm mostly joking when I say that, but I don't know. I played a League of Lotus, 0 reps, and it was the easiest. I was also playing like shit the entire league, and I still 5-0'd. It wasn't even close. I'm gonna pay 3 life. They can push my Ghoul, but if they do, I don't know. Will I Pierce or draw a card? I might Pierce, because I don't think I'm getting anything else out of this Pierce. Yeah, I just don't think this Pierce is doing much else this game. It's like I'm trading Pierce for 3 damage, which I think is worth it. In leagues, people are just as bad at playing against it because they generally have 0 reps against competent pilots. Sure, that is a fair point too. It's like it's a deck that's incredibly you need to figure out specifically when you should deploy your hate card, because I think a lot of people who I guess maybe Damping Spheres is maybe a big reason for this, but I could have drawn a card there, but I wanted to try and draw a land for Sorin Ripper. But people just run their Damping Sphere out there, and a lot of times you're not supposed to just cast it at the first given opportunity. You're supposed to hold it until they play their Lotus Field. So that's something, just when to get aggressive, when to hold back counter spells, things like that. So there's definitely some nuance to it for sure. Most people don't know how to handle Lotus, nor do Lotus pilots know how to pilot it quickly. Well, I think the good Lotus pilots take their time because they just want to maximize equity at every, you know what I mean? The good Lotus players will find the lines that nobody else in the entire world will see.
Bruh.
I mean, I guess they're still at 6 and I have a Mutavault, so can't be that bad. Okay, we can do a Fatal Push check. Gotta take that. Still don't know if we're gonna be able to beat the Hive, rather. This game's gonna get weird. Okay. I guess they boarded that in for Sorin Ripper. I also can't trade because they can pump. It also does stop me from getting back Silversmote Ghoul. That is kind of funny. All right, so now we have to draw an Oven. Oven's our best draw right now, I think. Oven, or I guess Sorin Ripper does it too. That's what your local Wasteland players are doing in the sideboard versus Vamps. I don't know, though. The Vampires player is just going to keep in their Fatal Pushes. The whole concept of playing Night of Dusk Shadow against Amalia is that they can't kill it. But, you're playing against a deck that has 4 Fatal Push, 4 Bloodtithe Harvester. It doesn't seem like a tactic that you should be utilizing. There's got to be something better, That's kind of where I'm at. I do have Heroic. Heroic is the deck that I played at the first RCQ, and I lost to Phoenix twice. My meta is weird. I guess I shouldn't say my meta is weird. It is mostly Phoenix, but, which is maybe what you would expect. I feel like the Magic Online metagame, which is what I am accustomed to and play against every single day, is so much different than the metagame in my paper, at the RCQs that I go to. So it's hard to kind of figure out exactly what level they're going to be on, if that makes sense. No, I don't think they're playing Waste Not. I think they're just playing mono black mid range. Do I have the cards for mono black? No. Actually, I have Sheoldreds. I have the lands. I do own every card that my opponent's cast so far. I could look into their deck list. I mean, they are the trophy leaders, so. What is their deck bad against? I guess I still had one more draw step. That was going to do it. This was their last 5-0 list. Yeah, they're not a waste not deck. It's just mono black mid range. Aetherborn, Trespasser, Preacher, Shelly, Push, Thoughtseize. Yeah, 2 main deck blot out, 3 Invokes, 3 Bankbusters. It's just like black good cards, which I think makes sense. I like unironically, this is a good way to approach mono black. I think they've come to the same conclusion that I did, which Waste Not is just the worst card in the Waste Not deck. You can just play all good cards. I would imagine that version is probably favored against the Waste Not deck, although I don't know, maybe it's close. Giganta. Hopefully it's prowess and they play a 1-drop. I think I do own every card in that deck. Is there anything that I'm missing? I think the only card that I don't own is Tiny Bones. Yep, I own every other card except Tiny Bones. I just haven't bought them yet. I could play that. I could at least try a league with it and see how it feels. Satoru, there was one game where Satoru was insane. I think it drew like 5 or 6 cards in one game, and it was good there. But the other games, it has not looked super impressive. It is for sure. It's a lot more forgiving than Phoenix. Jund? What? People play Jund? Oh, Transmogrify? Okay, sure. I see. Alright. Note to self, we cannot tap out. But what if I did tap out and just hope they didn't have it? I'm just not sure that I have enough pressure without tapping out. Like, okay, imagine a scenario where I don't cast Preacher and they just go untap, kill Satoru. Then I'm still in a spot where I'm just holding up mana the whole game with no pressure. I can't really afford to do that, can I? Maybe this is stupid, but... no, I don't believe the mono black deck had Leyline. No, they were just on Ashiok and Go Blank. Or no, they didn't have Go Blank, but it was just Ashiok. I mean, you could just play Go Blank, right? Yeah, but if they play Fable, like, who cares? Oh, you're saying if I hold up mana? Yeah. If I hold up mana and they play Fable, I'm also behind. They did have it, but well, they didn't hit that well off of this. Mutavault Thoughtseize push. Like, we can beat Mutavault Thoughtseize push, I think. Especially because we drew the Bitter Triumph. Life or discard cat? I think life. Okay. I mean, not the worst card to draw. They do have Thoughtseize, I guess. But now they're kind of fucked. They can't Transmogrify again. They could, like, what, Thoughtseize my Sorin, but then they also don't have double blacks. They can't Thoughtseize and push. Like, they're not in a great spot. They have Marcus Chariota. Chariot, I guess, would suck. They seize your post to Transmog again. Well, if they take my Fatal Push, then I can go Sorin, counter, hit them for 5. They go to 5. They have to worry about dying to the Sorin Plus, right? Fable. I don't know yet, Gerald. I mean, I'm debating between Phoenix and Boros. And now, I mean, a chat might have gaslit me into playing Mono Black. We just got destroyed by the trophy leader playing Mono Black mid-range. And their deck looks sick. And I do have all the cards from Mono Black, just saying. No, it's just Mono Black mid-range, no Waste Nots. Just like all the good black cards. Alright, what's the plan here? If I push now, they can push Preacher, so that is probably not the best idea. What if I, like, Sorin minus, put in Preacher, attack, draw, and I get 2 looks at a black source for a Thoughtseize, or hold up Fatal Push? Yeah, the Phoenix Mirror does suck. That's kind of what's turning me away from playing Phoenix. If I Sorin minus, they just kill the Satoru in response. That's bad. Yeah, I'm just going to attack first. I don't want them to kill the Satoru. I mean, I guess now what are they going to do? Chump block, kill Preacher? They also might just not block. Go to 6. Okay. They're going to push Satoru. You may block. They're not going to. Do we just pass? It is nice that we drew the second push, because even if they go land, Thoughtseize, Transmogrify, they can't take both of our pushes. So I'm just going to pass here. So Otawara is just being hella awkward. I think this deck has too many black cards to play the Otawara. Like, it is a good utility land, but it's just so bad when you're playing with Thoughtseize and Fatal Push. It's really rough to have a non-black source. Gifted Aetherborn, notorious good card. Hey, I mean, if the metagame is all red decks, you could do worse than two mana Vampire Nighthawk. I find the list again. This was their latest 5-0 list. Aetherborn, 4 Trespasser, 4 Preacher, 3 Shelly, 4 Push, 4 Thoughtseize, 3 Invoke Despair. I don't know. Just like mono black reason. Okay, I'll say mono black reasonable cards. They're not all good, but they're all reasonable. Would you agree with that? Yeah, Thoughtseize fine because we have 2 push. Unless they drew another Thoughtseize. Go double Thoughtseize plus Transmogrify. Could maybe go like mono black splash red, I guess. How many red sources would you need to play for just Fable? Like 10? But have you considered that Waste Not is designed by the community? Yeah, who asked? I have not considered. What do we do? I have no idea how we win this game. I can Fatal Push one of their cat tokens to get in 2 damage with Mutavault. I'm not sure how relevant that is. This is a bad position. Very, very bad position. I think I am going to Fatal Push now. Yeah, simply just draw Sorin Ripper in the same draw step. Otawara is just losing me the game. Alright, whatever. They have the second transmog. I just can't keep playing around it. Thought I was doing fine this game, but that turn of, like, you know, the Chariot and the Thoughtseize and the Fatal Push, they just had a very, very big turn last turn. Okay, not a Transmogrify. Hold. Yeah, the Otawara should not be in the deck. I have now officially confirmed that the Otawara is garbage. Do not play the Otawara. I would strongly recommend against. Oh, I'm blocking. I would like to block, please. Take 6, go to 7. That'll be a block for me. A nice little block. Alright. You're at 4. You can draw Temporal Mastery. Temporal Mastery would kill them. Alright, they have selected my Fatal Push. That's 7. Let's take a draw step. I'll take 1 more card, please. Uno mas. Okay. Can go cat, put them to 2. If I animate both Mutavaults, how did I miss lethal? If I animate both Mutavaults, they animate theirs, block here, take 2, go to 2, then I have 1 mana left over, put them to 1. It's not lethal. I think I have to just play double cat and not Thoughtseize them, because this gives me 3 blockers. And I guess my only out at this point is Sorin. Sorin kills them. But yeah, no, that was not lethal, because they had a Mutavault back to block. They just blocked 2. They blocked 2, go to 2, post-combat familiar, put them to 1. They discarded Atraxa, which they could have cast. They just go animate, copy Shaman, attack, make 3 treasures. Okay. Weird timing. I'll get a Wandering Grave, I guess. Why are they doing that now? I'm confused. Okay, another Fable. We're not dead. I would like a Sorin, please. I will take 1 Sorin off the top of my deck. I'll take this. All right, give me a Sorin, please. Sorin me. I would like 1 Sorin off the top of my library. Basic Swamp, kind of the exact same thing. All right, I have located 4 creatures that attack, and they have 3 creatures that block, which means they go to 1. So 2 options here. Option 1 is Giga Chad, attack with Mutavault, and this, draw a removal spell, kill. Well, does that get me out? It does, right? Kill cat, or kill whatever. Kill this, they copy. Still only have 2 blockers. But then if I miss on removal spell, I just die. I guess, what do they die to besides removal spell? They die to another cat. They don't technically die to Vein Ripper. Oh, right, because I would have to animate the Mutavault anyways. So they're dead to Sorin, Bitter, Edict, Cat, Push, Oven. It's a lot of outs, right? It's a good number of outs to just go for it. Chat, do you believe? You know what? I believe. I am a believer. Yeah, basically 100% to hit. We hit here every time. It's just that easy. We hit every time. This is going to be the single greatest play ever made in the history of Twitch.tv. Oh, they're dead. Waiting. Easy dubs. Do it now, right? Easy dubs. See, the thing that you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, is you just have to believe. You just have to believe that the top card of your library is what you are exactly looking for, you know? Wait, hold on. Do you think they think I slow rolled them, or do you think that they think that I just ripped the Fatal Push? Yeah, we had a good amount of outs, to be fair. Like, at least probably a third of our deck was outs. Do I feel Satoru is worth it? I don't know. Probably not. It's cool for sure. Like, it's definitely really cool. It's only really come up a couple of times. I think we've only actually triggered it once or twice. And it is frequently coming out a lot in the post-board games. But it's, I don't know. It gives you, I think I'm sideboarding like this, right? A little bit low on threats. I guess what I like about it is the body is pretty reasonable, like 2/3 menace for 2 mana, not that bad. It gives you a way to kind of bridge the gap into your Sorin hands, which I guess you do that in Rakdos with Bloodscythe Harvester. Like, I'm not trying to tell you that this is a better version than Rakdos, because it's definitely not. But I don't know, it's different and something I wanted to try out. Now, maybe there is a version of Satoru Cat Oven that like just doesn't play the vampire package and is more all in on Satoru. I could certainly be into that, but I'm not quite sure what else you can utilize Satoru with. I guess Ornithopter, kind of. There's got to be some more stuff, right? It's close, but it's not fast enough. Yeah. What other legends were you playing? The briefcase. Used Emery with Apple. Emery with Apple, huh? The Ariette's Golden Apple, is that the one you're talking about? Radiant Flames. I kind of have to take this Chariot, right? Chariot's just going to kick my ass. Why do I feel like that's still too loud? I just turned it down. I'm going to turn it down a lot more. Case. Case me. Emery, Tiny Bones, Satoru. Emery, Tiny Bones, Satoru. What's the synergy with... Oh, you're just saying the legends. Okay, sure. Somebody had shared a deck tech earlier that was like Dredge, Narcomoeba, Prized Amalgam, and maybe there's something you can do that with. Narcomoeba, Prized Amalgam, Creeping Chill, Silversmote Ghoul. You could do stuff with that. That might be worth it. You eventually cut Emery. Yeah. Maybe you just didn't have enough artifacts to go with Emery. See, I mean, this is cool when you get to do stuff like this. Like a Thoughtseize. Yeah, not the worst. Should I draw the other card now? I'll wait. Because if I draw the other card now, the cat dies. And I don't get to keep the food. It's worse if they drew a Fatal Push. For sure. But they might just... I mean, they don't even want a Radiant Flames here, do they? Okay. All right, what are we working with here? Ornithopter, Spell Pierce, Cauldron Familiar. I thought about Not after all in this deck, too. And you have some ninjas. Moon Circuit Hacker. This one loots. I mean, just draw a card if you do discard a card. Okay. Satoru, Copter. Are there any other playable ninjas? Because that could be an approach, too. Where you're like, you play Satoru with a bunch of ninjas, and then you also pair that with Cat Oven. We know their last card's Radiant Flames, right? So we can just do this. about another oven? No, not quite. Can attack with... I mean, I guess both, right? It's kind of free to attack with both. Satoru Phoenix. It's interesting. I don't think it's quite where you want to be. Because again, like, you don't want to play a Satoru with only one thing to trigger it. You want to be really building around that card, I think. I mean, I guess this only has... Well, this one has 3, right? You have Cat Oven, Silversmote Ghoul, and you also have just Sorin. So this deck has a couple of things to do with it. Not a ton, but a couple. They want to try the lower to the ground aggro with 1-drops, Champion, in the artifact, no block creatures. Champion was a feature of the dredge list that was shared earlier. It was like Bloodsoaked Champion, Prized Amalgam, Narcomoeba, Haunted Dead, and I suggested Ghoul Creeping Chill. There's got to be a deck there, right? Just like blue-black self-mill. Gotta be something there. Phoenix triggers Prized Amalgam. Let him cook. Let him cook. Otterhouse, I think you burnt the oven. You burnt the stove. I think this is where I'm at. Just save Satoru. Guess I could have also killed the Bankbuster instead of saving Satoru. I don't know about that. Because now I'm in a weird spot where I have to sack the Mutavault to start the chain again, which I don't necessarily want to do. But I could. Bro! What the hell? What in tarnation? Alright, well, unfortunate. That Thoughtseize was kind of a beating. It's really rough. I mean, they're at 8. You have 2 removal spells in hand. Could be worse. You definitely would not play Tome Scour. Like, there are much better ways to mill that also are creatures. Merfolk Secret Keeper, Minister of Inquiries, Cruel Somnophage, those kinds of things. You definitely would not play Tome Scour. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too, Binary Cannibal. I'm basically in the same exact position, where it's drawing the couple extra cards is really cool, but it feels like you have to work so hard for it. And it's like, to what end? To where exactly are we going with this? You know? It's like, is it really worth a couple extra cards? The answer is almost assuredly no. But it does beg the question of, is there other things that you can do with Satoru, right? I guess I use this for mana efficiency. You know, maybe it's not good to play it in the vampire deck and you're just better off playing other vampires, but it certainly could be a question of, is there a Satoru deck that also plays Cat Oven? Maybe you also play Cat Oven in the Dredge deck too, right? Because like Cat Oven triggers, what's the enchantment? Insidious Roots. So it's like Satoru, Insidious Roots, Cat Oven could be a core. Oh, in the Phoenix deck, okay. So that could be something you want to do as well. This Mutavault is just carrying the team on its back. That's all I'll say about the Mutavault. The Mutavault is doing God's work. I'm going to play the other oven first. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to sack this Mutavault to get back Cat. Not this turn, but potentially next turn. Let me get a count of how much damage this Mutavault has dealt. It's got to be in the hundreds. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that, JD Phoenix. Like, there are quite a few decks that can go over the top of the Cat Oven stuff. At the end of the day, it is just marginal incremental advantage. And some decks just don't care about that stuff, right? But if you're pairing the marginal incremental damage with, you know, drawing an extra card every turn, that's where it gets out of control. We have a Gigantha jump scare. So they're not dead, are they? Oh no, they are dead, right? I don't need to counter this, but I might as well. Yeah, we just have lethal. What's better for velveting chicken, baking soda or baking powder? I don't even know what that means. And I went to culinary school. Did anyone try new Rakdos with sack? What the hell is this? What are they casting? What? I'm sorry? What do they have? Are they trying to bait me into thinking they have, like, Cling to Dust? There's no way, right? We tried Rakdos Sacrifice with the Sorin shell. That felt pretty good. That's actually tonight's YouTube video. Oh, well. Yeah, that's not going to work. That is not going to work. Opponent, you are dead. I like how they're making me do it out. Like, bruv, you're dead. You're dead. All right. After a painfully long, hour-long match, we are 2-1. 80 cards, by the way. What could possibly go wrong with this hand? The answer is nothing. You know what's really nice about Satoru is when you go turn 2 Satoru, turn 3 Sorin, put in Vein Ripper, you get to draw a card. Because turn 3 Vein Ripper, not good enough. What's really going to bring Vein Ripper over the edge is when we get to draw an extra card off of it. That's how you break turn 3 Vein Ripper. You know, now we're cooking with gas. You know, binding for me? Oh my god, it's Lightning Helix. Alright, rip me. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I just don't know what you would like me to tell you. I got nothing for you, man. I got nothing for you, chat. I'm sorry. Satoru Cloak seems good in Pioneer. Yeah. That could be in the Rakdos sack shell. I guess what else are we doing with Cloak and Rakdos sack? What if we were like Rakdos sack with Sorin Ripper and Satoru? Does that do anything for you? That's true. Unfortunately, we did not get the draw card. Very, very unfortunate. You hate to see it. I needed that card too. Really needed that card. Come on, they get a card. It's a tale as old as time. Up the Beanstalk versus the new Up the Beanstalk. Alright, what you got over there? Can I kill them before they get to bring the light? I think I can, right? 7, 8, 9, yeah, easily. So the reason I'm doing this is if I don't take binding, they can draw Fable the Mirror Breaker. Shouldn't have 6. And if they draw Fable, what they can do is go Fabled Passage for basic Swamp, cast Fable, Binding Ripper, sack the Fable token. So if I don't take Binding and they draw Fable or Caryatid, they can kill the Ripper. But now they're just dead next turn. So that's why I did that. Easy dubs. Never any competition whatsoever. Alright, these seem good against Niv. Is Liliana good against Niv? I think it is. Caryatid. Push, no bueno. Also cut these. Trim this. Just cut all the ghouls, maybe. Bring in Liliana. Keep the edicts. Or keep the removal spells. They do kill Omnath too, which is good. Maybe I want the Blot out to kill the Hexproof from monocolored Niv. I don't know how much I care about that card. Kinda do. See, this is the Satoru hand. This is exactly why we're playing Satoru. I don't know what I meant by that, but you can figure it out. What a Thoughtseize you. What the hell? Target player sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. Noted. I will be selecting your... I don't know. Do I care about any of these cards? Can I choose to take your top card instead of... Like, I feel like Thoughtseize should read that if your opponent's hand sucks, just make them skip a draw step. Is that a hot take? I'm just going to let them kill the Satoru. I don't really care about it. Also nice to get it out of my hand. If I do nothing, they just Valky me. An overcooked Satoru Phoenix list. You didn't have to put the word overcooked in front, because when you just say Satoru Phoenix, you know, it's already implied that it's overcooked. I mean, Thoughtseize is unplayable. Every time I cast Thoughtseize, it's 1 mana, I lose 2 life, target opponent gets to search their library for a card, and put it on top of their library. That's what my Thoughtseizes do. I don't know about yours, but that's what mine do. They drew land 4. That's not fair. Maybe they won't cast the removal spell first. They'll cast the Valky first to check, and then I'll actually get the Pierce something. Although if that's the case, they just won't cast the removal spell. They'll wait till next turn. They're thinking about it. We're going to pass the turn. Rogue Dragon is going to throw it back to me. It's not really a good draw step. Do I think the shell is better with Sorin Ripper than Jace Valky? I like that. I think Sorin Ripper is more proactive than Jace Valky. I mean, I guess Valky is proactive, but it doesn't end the game in short fashion the same way that Sorin Ripper does. But I think that, like, this... What's the best way to put this? The deck, the idea is sound, right? The idea is really cool, but I think my biggest issue with this particular configuration is that the plans kind of mesh well together, but they also sort of don't at the same time. It's really hard to explain, but I just think that the Satoru stuff probably does not belong in the Vampire Shell. Like, you just build two different decks, you know? Like, you can build a Satoru deck or a Vampire deck, but they don't mesh that well together. That's what I'm saying. But I do think there is potential for there to be a Satoru deck. And I would like to explore that card, because when we've drawn Satoru with Oven Cat, it's been extremely powerful. We just haven't had it that often, you know? This game is a perfect example of us drawing Satoru and then a bunch of just reactive stuff. Now, this stuff is good with the Vampire plan, but it's not good with the Satoru plan, because the Satoru plan requires you to build your deck, like, sort of specifically around it to maximize it, you know? And we just drew a 2-mana 2/3 with no text, right? And I think that's my big issue with the way this deck is constructed. 5 mana. Am I going to get to Spell Pierce something? Do I even care about this? I'm just going to Edict it. Their hand is Cover Up, Collapse Valky. Alright, I would like you to sacrifice a non-token creature, please. The Biggest Noodle. What does that really accomplish? The answer is nothing, so I'm going to hold it. Do I care enough about that card to double Spell Pierce it? Kind of, yeah. It's just really hard to win without Sorin Ripper. You will draw on the card Valky Bastille. No, that's not how Satoru works. Satoru only triggers if you don't spend mana on the card, and Valky, you're still spending mana on the card with Tibalt. See? The exact same thing I was talking about. It's like, I just wish I had other cards that had some sort of relevant text. Like, my opponent's draw was bad enough to where if I just had, like, I don't know, a random 2/2 or a random 3/2, like, we would have been fine this game. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I'm going to stroke your Tibalt. Your Tibalt has been stroked. You're going to do what to my Tibalt? Still holding the Sorin, I guess. There's no point in playing him when we know they have this. Shit, we died. This is, not great. Not the best. If only I had cards that had any sort of... Yeah, I know what your hand is. You don't have to show me. I knew 2 of the cards in it. Yeah. Big issue with this deck. I mean, the idea is cool. I think that the concept is very sound, but the plans just, again, don't mesh that well together. And I think that's my big underlying issue with this deck, is the plans, like... I mean, this hand is good, but it's not good because we have a Witch's Oven. It's good because we have Sorin Ripper, you know what I mean? As a matter of fact, I'm putting back the Witch's Oven. So, cool idea, but I don't know. We've only been winning games with Vayne Ripper. We're not winning games with the Satoru plan. I guess the concept, I think the initial idea behind the deck, and maybe what the person was going for when they built it, was like, you're utilizing that as a way to bridge the gap to, like, cycle and, you know, hit your land drops up until the point where you can Satoru them. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. I don't know if I should go for it, but I'm going to. Even if they have the answer, they have to sack their Caryatid. It's kind of fine. This means that they can't just, like, slam on Mortigo or Slaughter Games. They have to deal with the Ripper first. Look at the Mason Clark coming in here with the deck list. What's up, Mason? I would strongly recommend not playing this deck. I mean, if you're gonna play Sorin Ripper, just do Sorin Ripper stuff. Don't the Satoru stuff is just not that good. All right, -1 Vein Ripper. Vein Ripper down. Yeah, the counter spells are good. Like you could just play mono black vampires with counter spells. Yeah, but cut the Satoru package. That idea sounds pretty good. Can I tap out here? I mean, I'm allowed to. I don't know if I should, but I am certainly allowed to tap out. There's too many threes. I'm gonna tap out. I would just like to pressure them is the issue. It's not. I guess the Preacher's not pressuring them that much anyways because they have so much removal for it. Like, it's very easy for them to just kill this thing. Exactly, though. I don't want to get time walked. What would you do? I don't know what I'd do. Bring to light. What are they going to bring to light for? They chose not to use the cornucopium, so they're probably getting Niv. Cornucopia is kind of nice, huh? Niv, draw exactly 1 card. I love that Niv, dude, it's so funny. The trajectory of deck building with Niv. People used to go out of their way to play horrendous cards in Niv just so they could draw, 3 or 4 cards off of it. And now it's like, okay, I'm going to play Niv, and they're expecting to only get 1 card out of it, I find that pretty hilarious. Like, I want to go back and look at Niv decks from before. We got time. I want to see how far back I can go to show you how truly heinous of gold cards these decks used to play. Date range, January 1st, 2022. We'll go to December 31st, 2022. All right, find me a Niv deck. This is from the Canadian RC. Yeah, look at this shit. Okay. 1 Comball main deck. The Glyph Weaver is fine. A main deck Clothis, a Blood Baron of Viscopa, Nahiri, which sometimes they still play. I guess that's really it, right? Those are like the egregious ones. But they just played some random ass cards. It's pretty funny. But now they're just content with drawing 1 card off it, What did they do? They went Beanstalk, Heralded Pass. I have counter here. I could have not used the Sorin pre-combat to try and hope to draw towards Vein Ripper and then just minus post-combat. It is Taliban, yes. Yeah, that is true. Like, honestly, this deck is more of an up the Beanstalk deck than it is a Niv Mizzet deck. It's kind of the way that I would look at it. It's also an Astral Cornucopia deck. All right. I deploy a Witch's Oven. It is your turn. What can we Spell Pierce here? We can Spell Pierce a Hardcast Tybalt. It's about the only thing I can Spell Pierce. Do you think we could play Satoru in an Esper version of Aetherflux Marvel with SRAM and Satoru as draw engine? How exactly are we drawing cards off Satoru in that situation? Just Aetherflux? Yeah, I don't know about that. That one seems kind of weird. All right, what are they getting off this Bring to Light? Could be anything. Could be a boat. No, they're talking about Aetherworks Marvel. I said Aetherflux, but I think they meant to say Aetherworks Marvel. Oh, the 0 mana artifact with SRAM? Seems kind of weird. Yeah. No, it does work. You're right. SRAM, Satoru with the 0 mana equipment does work. That is correct. All right, how many cards are they going to draw off this one? Unmoored Ego, Pillage the Bog, Lightning Helix, Consecrate. Well, that's a lot more than the one they hit the last time. I feel like this game is probably over. They're also still at 22. They've gained, 11 life off the Cornucopia? Just impossible to race that thing. Oh, no, you meant Aetherflux Reservoir. I see. Okay. I was confused at first. Interesting. I mean, it's an idea. It sounds a bit all over the place, though. All right, big draw. This is not exactly the droids that we are looking for. Let's go to combat first. Why didn't I counter it? Counter what? I can't spell Pierce Niv, and if I try to spell Pierce Bring to Light, they have 3 mana untapped. Alright, we're just going to land them off it. Another land, unfortunately. This is the match that turns it all around. The beginning of the end. The last match of all of our lives. I have located 2/3 of the combo. I probably should not be keeping this hand, but it's good for vibes. Amalia, huh? How is our Amalia matchup? Well, I've located the other half of the combo. Turns out, drawing 2 cards a turn, probably not that relevant against a deck that's trying to kill you on turn 3. So, yeah. You see, they will simply just not have it, right? My opponent will definitely not untap and play their 3rd untapped land and a Wild Growth Walker and an Amalia. That's definitely not going to happen. It's just not possible, if you think about it. Okay. Alrighty, that's an Aether Flux Reservoir. That one's going to resolve. You can have that one. Alright, deploy the cat. Combo assembled. We're drawing so many cards. And by so many, I mean 1 additional card. Which is, that qualifies as so many, right? Attack. So, the problem is, we need to draw spells. Spells. Another oven would be nice. I would accept another oven, only if we were going to draw spells after the oven. Preferably ones that killed their creatures. Any spells? Oh no. No, they're gaining life off the reservoir. How could we compete with that? The reservoir is offsetting the Cauldron Familiar. Alright, that's not bad. I'll take 1 more card, please. I would like 1 more card, please, and thank you. I don't know if that's good. Okay. Well... I even want to deploy the Satoru this turn. Or, sorry, the Sorin. I could channel Takanuma and try to find Vane Ripper instead. The issue with casting Sorin this turn, what ends up happening is they just get to... I guess I plus it to 5. They attack with all 3. I trade here, Sorin goes to 3. And then even if I draw Ripper next turn, I can still minus it to put the Ripper in play. But the Takanuma also digs me towards the Ripper, and that's kind of why I wanted to do that. Like, it gets me 3 cards deeper towards it. So I think I like this better. Is that the land we do about? It was. I drew a spell. It's probably a spell that I can beat. I think. It is 2 damage. For whatever that's worth. What does this do again? Sacrifice another creature. It gets +X/+0, where X is the sacrificed creature's power. Alright, rip me. Not exactly. Not exactly the droids that we are looking for. Okay, never mind. So, 1, 2, 3. Minus here. Oh, dude, Vane Ripper drawing a card off Satoru. I guess I'll do this now. Now this is pod racing. This is pod racing. Without a ghoul, you can't rip well. Yeah, true. And another oven. Oh my goodness. My goodness. What is going on here? This is hot. Give me a Fatal Push. How does he do it? How does he do it? They ask every single day. Every single person comes into chat and they ask, how the hell does he do it? I don't have an answer for you, folks. Can somebody check his damn PC? Yeah, you can have that. That's fine. I accept. You are extremely dead. I guess I should just push the Amalia now. Oh, wait, they have the Savior, so it doesn't do anything. Alright, whatever, that's fine. I mean, I'm not dying this turn, so I don't think it matters. I did not Crazy Visions. They did reveal Boseiju, which I guess lets them kill one of the ovens. I don't know if that matters, though. And they revealed the Court of Calling, which they did keep on top. Makes sense. They can't draw a card, can they? They can sack to pump. Yeah, I mean, they're just dead, right? Dead to this. I do not think that our opponent has a way out of this. That turn was disgusting. The history books will be written, and that turn will go down as the greatest of all time. One of the turns of all time. They can always pay 50. Well, the thing about that is you can't pay life that you don't have. At least I think that's how it works. They are going to besiege you in Oven. Makes sense. No need to push now. It's lethal, right? It's gotta be lethal. Draw a card off this. Let me just go attack for 6. Can they gain life? I'm trying to just making sure they can't gain life at instant speed. There's no like random reach, right? I don't know why. I'm just like double, quadruple, quintuple checking to make sure that I'm not missing something very obvious. All right, I'm gonna animate my Mutavault. Then I'm gonna throw it at you. We did it! Woo! I will in fact activate my cards. J-necked. Cards activated. Okay, that was nice. Amalia, huh? Alright, path me. Other than path, is there anything else that we would like to board in? I really don't think so. I think it's just path. Cut like 1 Silversmote, and I kind of don't like Edict against them. They just have so many random creatures for Edict. Could keep this. Not sure that I should, but I could. Alright, well, wish I kept the 7. It's as good as it's going to get. I'm putting back a land, right? Yeah. Just draw random Witches Oven, like... I mean, that's just kind of what happens with this deck, right? Just draw random-ass Witches Ovens that don't really do anything with the rest of your deck. That is the downside to playing these cards. Maybe I should have taken Get Lost. Alright, well now I can take Get Lost. They have Chord. Surely I'll draw a land next turn, right? We do the whole ninjas thing and play Crypticoat. So I think, I mean, all of the ninjas are kind of unplayable, but I did think about playing Crypticoat with Satoru. And that would probably be in this hypothetical, like, Satoru Cat Oven deck. Those cards, that would almost certainly the, almost certainly that deck would also have Crypticoat. But it's like, do you want to make it a mid-range deck? Do you want to make it a really all-in focused dredge deck with Narcomoeba, Prized Amalgam, Haunted Dead, that kind of stuff? You could do that. But there's got to be enough stuff for Satoru and Pioneer. The card is it is pretty powerful. It is a good card. This must be why people hate playing against vampires, right? This exact situation. Just thought tease you, play my Sorin. Do they have a quotable answer to my Vein Ripper? They do play the Lawbringer, right? The Ruthless Lawbringer, I think it's called from the new set. Where are we going? We're mapping onto the Sentinel. Okay, now they can only cord for 2. Cord for 2. They can also... I guess they can get these back. Okay, no attacks. Oh, I see their plan. Their plan is end step, cord for Walker, untap, get these back. So we're dead? Cool. I think we're dead. If they do that, all the triggers kill them? No, because they're going to gain a bunch of life. Like, even if I trigger Vein Ripper 7 times, they're going to be at 60 life. It doesn't matter. They can just take 20, you know? Yeah, the Amalia can't attack, but, like, what's my out, right? Like, they're going to be at 60 life, and I'm going to have nothing in play. Like, I just don't have outs, you know? Sure, I could play it out, but I'm going to choose not to. Am I dead this turn? No. But realistically, can I ever win? Also, no. Yeah. Thoughtseize you, cast my Ripper, and then concede the game the following turn. I could draw cards with Satoru. Okay. Okay, this hand works. I mean, it does not have the Vein Ripper, But it does have Satoru into Sorin, which at the very least we can put Preacher into play and draw a card off Satoru. Yeah, they gain like 60 life there. Them not having a 1-drop is kind of nice. Didn't exactly want the second Sorin. Amalia. Amalia. Give me a land, please. It's not quite a land. I just killed the Amalia now. I'm going to be mana efficient, too. It's a really expensive Bitter Triumph, but is Sorin the only way to trigger Satoru? Now, we have Witch's Oven, and we also have Silversmote Ghoul. But even with all of that, I still think it's probably not enough to warrant playing Satoru. Like I said, it's a cool idea, and I think that the concept is reasonable, but just not quite there, I think. Now we draw the land. Well... they don't have it. I don't know if this is right, but I think that if I don't do this turn, I just don't think I'm putting enough pressure on them. So I want to try to get a little bit more pressure in play, and then if I don't die this turn, that's good. If I do, then I do. It is what it is. Oh, I guess they only need Walker because they can attack with this. Okay, maybe this was loose. I kind of hadn't thought about them being able to attack with this to trigger it. But they don't actually need both Walker and a life gainer. They just need Walker. Yeah, all right. Again, could play it out, but just no point. Classic Amalia gaming, huh? All right, perhaps I was not supposed to tap out that last turn. That might have been a slight mistake. In closing, again, the deck was pretty cool. I think that the concept behind using Satoru, Witch's Oven, Cat as like a supplement to the Sorin engine, the idea and the concept sounded strong, but I think that there's too many moving pieces with this deck where you just have a lot of these hands where it's like draw Satoru, Sorin, no Vampire, or Satoru with no way to trigger it, or, Sorin, Cauldron Familiar. There's like a lot of these hands that just are very anemic because you're playing a lot of pieces that don't necessarily work with each other. So at the end of the day, the idea is cool, but I think I would probably not recommend playing the Satoru engine. That being said, mono black vampires splashing counterspells does sound like a pretty cool idea, and I would consider exploring that further. But if you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, YouTube. Until next time.